Hey, Jamie.
Hey.
Yes, we're here. No feedback. We are, look, doing what we need to do. If you hear any feedback on your end, just turn your computer volume down or off. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right in. I just gave you a crash course. I feel like we have an associate's degree in quality social media sound after that. Welcome back if you are joining us and you were on the tester. This is the real deal. I'm so excited, Jamie. So I'm going to introduce myself and then I'm going to introduce you and we are going to jump into it. I'm your host. You are on my page. My name is Cassandra Burrington. I love all things growth. So you are here on Grow by Cassandra. Just a quick timeline. In 2019, I returned to the US after teaching abroad in Costa Rica. I went to Costa Rica on a mission to discover my place in education. I had spent about a decade. I love saying a decade. I spent like 10 years in education, teaching, and I was struggling to find out how to merge my passion and my love for progress and adventure with what I feel like is my calling for families and children, specifically in education. So I taught, I coached, I led, and then I came back to the States. Y'all. I came back. I left Paradise and I came back to the States. What I did find was that relationships really matter and mindset is everything. So in 2019, I wrote a book, and the book was for parents to figure out how to work with teachers to educate their children. Because I know that it's really important that parents are the number one educator. Parents take over the role of making sure that their children get quality education. And then fast forward through the pandemic, right? I founded a virtual tutoring company. Our mission is learning, ensuring learning success academically, socially, and emotionally. I knew that parents were going to be like, "What in the world is virtual learning? What does it look like for me to be busy and intentional and working and learn from home?" And so we'll celebrate 3 years this year. And what I love to do is talk to other parents who are busy and intentional and who are prioritizing themselves as they lead their families. And so Jamie and I met on that back to the US tour. Right? You met me fresh out of Paradise, girl, and I was like, I'm back in the US. What's a girl to do? And so I just fell in love with your drive, sis. I really did. Like Jamie is about that life, from fitness to faith to family. I'm like, oh, she's the real deal. Straight no paper, and I love it. We were able to connect as I was doing a few things, as you were doing a few things. And so when I picked up the phone to call you and ask you to come on my live, you're like, hey, I'm with it. I'm with it. This is Jamie's first live, y'all. But I feel like after this, I'm going live. She's going to be going live. So without further ado, Jamie, definitely fill in any gaps and introduce yourself. But this is Jamie Crossom. That's going to make her.
I got the flow. Yay! Hello to everyone. Like she said, this is my first live, so y'all bear with me. So, like she said, my name is Jamie. My name is Jamie the Homemaker Crossom, and I am a child of God. I am a woman after God's own heart. God has blessed me to be a wife and a mother, and out of that birth, me being a homemaker.
All right, so I was typing in the chat. So Jamie, if I pause awkwardly, it's so that I can type on for those who are watching. So we are streaming in a couple different places. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are in the Supplemental Education Facebook page as well, and then we're here on Instagram. So I'm trying to position my camera and type as well. We're going to share a little bit about what you do and how people can connect with you. But my passion for parents, look, parenting. It's not for the weak. It makes you stronger, even if you think you're weak. If you get over here into parenthood, it will make you strong. So I want you to tell us a little bit about your journey up to this point. So I don't know if you want to go back as far as like school or early adulthood, but just how did Jamie become Jamie the homemaker?
Good question. I always tell people, like, once you get married and have kids, this life is different, right? And people that know me and know my husband is active military. So if you know anything about the military, when they tell him to get up and go, pack and go, that's what he got to do. So what I started understanding once we had a son, like just me going, okay, that's fine. But once we had a son, I had to understand that my responsibility was in the home. Like when he goes, like I needed to be in place. And if not, then the house would not be, you know what I mean, stable. That's why my tagline is creating love and balance in the home. So that was my responsibility. So I had to figure out, what I needed to do in that area. And then it's like, okay, marriage. Got to make sure the husband is, good. And okay, the son. Make sure the son is good. And then there's, all these other things in the house that has to be done. Like, I can't sit around and say, well, who's going to do it? That was my responsibility to do it. And I'm like, okay, this is my responsibility. If I'm a Proverbs 31 woman, I don't work outside the house, but we have a home-based business. So this was my responsibility. This is what I decided to do. Sometimes it takes sacrifices because, not always you can go. But, I enjoy the military life and, we're blessed beyond measure.
I love it, Jamie. So little known fact. Why I love that so much is because I think as women, we know in happy, International Women's Month, Women's History Month, all the things. But there is work to do, even if it is not, like you said, an outside 9 to 5. Like there is a lot that comes with managing your home. It's overlooked, but I think about myself, and I'm about to learn from you. I really do have my pen and paper. I have a schedule for household chores. Like, what is my laundry day? And when I skip my laundry day, laundry doesn't go away. It just makes more laundry for the next laundry day, which means
right. And we don't want that.
We don't want that because what that means is then it takes longer for me to actually get what I need to get done. Same thing with dishes. Dishes got to be done at the end of the night. Why? So I could wake up to a clean kitchen. And so when I'm eating breakfast, even if breakfast is a breakfast bar or some oatmeal, like mine is a peace. And you talked a little bit about that. The biggest thing I thought is like peace in your home so that what needs to happen can happen. So I'm going to go on mute and I want you to hold on one second. Okay. I want you to dig into. Go get it. He don't ever want milk. But today on this here live is when he wants some milk. Is when he wants some milk. So anyway, so you just talked about like your role and your position. How big of a transition was it for you to be able to think like that? Like to think like my work is actually here in the home. Can you talk to us about that?
I think the biggest thing that opened my eyes was the pandemic. Because I don't know about y'all, but when the pandemic hit, I wasn't going to nobody's store. I wasn't dropping Eli off to no daycare. I'm like, you know what? We got to start doing some things different. But my husband, he still was working, Monday through Friday. And I'm like, okay, I have to do something different. I mean, most people think, oh, because you don't go to work and stuff, like you're not really doing anything. I stay busy all day. There's always something to do. So at the end of the day, I felt like I have, got off a full-time job and then I homeschool my son. So, everything is just, constant or whatever. But the pandemic really showed that something different needed to happen. And like I said, my husband and I have been overseas twice since we've been here in Georgia. So it's like, something like we as a military family we have to do a lot of sacrifice. I feel like people see the good things and we got and stuff like that, but it's a lot of sacrifice that goes behind it, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I just said, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what's best. This is what's best for my husband. This is what's best for my son. And you know what? We gonna do it.
Yeah. That's really a lot of people that I know, a lot of friends, and even people that I've met in the past 2 to 3 years. For them, COVID-19, the pandemic, coronavirus was an opportunity to shift. Either you were like, oh no, and like that was just your posture for like 3 years, like, oh, what's happening? And that's okay. Or you were like, what I do know for sure is that I need to get set up. That's the part of why I started my business. Parents are going to need me. It was at the point where I was like already feeling like, how can I help? And then it's like, here we go, virtual tutoring.
Yeah.
It's my time. And I had a newborn. So I was like, I'm not going back to anybody's building. I don't have to. I have choices. I have options. And it sounds like it was the same for you. You were like, all right, COVID-19. All right, well, what we gonna do? As for me and my house, how are we gonna get this together? And you, I love that. Either shift or stay stuck. That's it.
Yeah.
And even now that outside is changing and things are changing and things are different, you still have an opportunity to shift. It's not too late to shift. If you felt like, man, I've been stuck for 3-4 years, like it's not too late to shift. And what I love about Jamie is the shift was not just about you. You wasn't like, all right, what am I gonna do? You were like, what does my family need? How can I partner with my husband? And how do I support my child? And also fuel and feed what it is that I need. A lot of times, I hate saying a lot of times, but it's true. A lot of times. No, take away a lot of times. As parents, we think that making our child top priority and making them our world and losing ourselves in the process is okay. I am of the thought that when I see what do we need and I pull out what I need and what Josiah gets as a benefit of it, we are able to thrive.
Yeah.
What makes me happy and thrive and work in my zone of genius is also what allows my son to do the same thing. It's what allows my family to move forward. So how are you able to prioritize playing an active role as we switch gears to education? That's my side.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I met you before I even had a child and had this business. How are you able to prioritize your son's education and your decision to homeschool?
Yeah. Let's see.
Excuse me.
When I was pregnant with Eli, I mean, I always worked with kids. I did after school, I did substituting, I did teacher's aid. So I always worked with kids. So that was already what I did before I even had my son. But when it comes to education, that's something very, very important to me and my husband. So in the way that we continue to accomplish that goal is to we establish routine. So like when it comes to reading, Monday through Friday, Eli reads, you know what I mean? Or between 12:30 and 2, I'm working with him. And as y'all can see, he's a mastermind. Like he has to be moving his hands and his fingers, and he's like active, but he's smart. And I'm like, man, this is amazing. I'm like, I always tell myself, if I can teach other people kids, I definitely can teach mine. So that's what I'm doing. I'm a homeschool mom, and some days you got to have a little more patience than others, but I'm glad that I'm a homeschool mom. And then we have started connecting with other homeschool organizations. So I'm not doing it by myself. There's other homeschool moms, that I'm able to connect with. You're able to see, other kids able to play. They do field trips. They do a lot of stuff. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I told you I'm taking my notes. I'm taking my notes. And the first thing you said is you've always been passionate about teaching. And if you could do that for other people's kids, then certainly you can do it for your own. So I just wrote down values. You and your husband came to the table And we're like, what are our values? And you value education, you value learning. And so that definitely spills out of all of the content that I've seen from you, is that, oh, we about learning over here. We have fun and we play. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a master couponer. Jamie can coupon, y'all.
I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty, but you know.
Yeah. You can brush it out. Like you put me in the game. She's really good. But the value of education, and I love that you said the value of reading Monday through Friday. He's reading, and I would imagine, tell me if I'm wrong, that you and your husband are also doing some type of reading or academic in front of him so that he sees. Is that am I on?
Yeah, I think it's mainly me. I feel like I always mainly take the lead kind of thing. But you know, he'll on weekends or whatever, he'll read, you know, to his dad too. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I wrote that down. Value. And what's important, definitely modeling and showing, like spending the time. I have this thing 5 to 15 minutes. Like I know that not every parent is working from home or able to stay at home. And so it feels like we don't have the time. But if you can commit 5 to 15 minutes every day of something that is related to learning, reading a book, listening to a book, and then having a discussion, drawing, but also paying attention to shapes or colors. Like there's so many ways that you can be very intentional about making it a learning opportunity, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time.
Right.
What it does take is consistency.
Consistency. You said it. You said it. That's the key word. Consistency. You can't just do something with your kids today and don't do it tomorrow. Like, no, that's if you want them to learn and you want them to be consistent, then you have to be consistent.
You decided to pick that up. That is it. Consistency for yourself. So I think about myself like with stretching, going to the gym, eating right. Parenting has just put a spotlight on myself. I'm like, how do I expect to maintain consistency over here when I'm not being consistent in the things that I know are important? Drinking my water, stretching, going to the gym, eating right, getting enough sleep. Like those little things that we think doesn't matter. Like, I don't got time for that. I'm trying to you have to start there, and that consistency is really, really important. And then the last thing you mentioned, or the last two things, knowing your child. So I want you to talk a little bit about how are you able to know who Eli is and what he needs. And some people say, well, she's his mom, but there's a level of intentionality, paying attention to who he is and what he needs. How have you been able to do
that? Good question. I feel like with Eli, I just do everything, but you can I can tell like what he likes, because then, you know, just like the cooking in the kitchen, like he likes it because, you know, he walks in the kitchen and he get the bowl and get the spoon. You can tell what they like because that's what they want to do like all the time. And like, you know, certain stuff that he don't want to do, you can tell like it's hard to get his attention and stuff like that. But if he love it, like he want to do it all the time. And, you know, with Eli, like I said, consistency, reading, and he's just so smart. I'm kind of proud to be your mama because you're really, really smart. But yeah, just you can tell the stuff that they like because they want to do it all the time. Like,
they want to do
all
it
the time. And like you said, you can put like if you like for instance, like he was for the last couple of days he was bowling. So it's like, okay, well, bowling, he wanted to write the numbers. He wanted to write the score. So with the bowling, then he wrote the score. And then it's like he wrote the 5 backwards. And I'm like, we gotta do the 5 again. So even doing bowling, when he's doing numbers, which he knows how to do the numbers, but then he got to draw the boxes. So just like you said, as you do something, it's always something to. I always look at everything as in there's something to be, you know, taught. You know what I mean? Like even with the book. Okay, grab the book. Okay, what color is the book? Okay, where's the author name? Just I guess like people say I have a teaching voice. So everything I'm telling, I'm explaining, I'm breaking it down. So that's an automatic thing I do. But as you can see, Eli just his own little person.
He absorbs it and soaks it up. And the key thing is for me is slowing down to see the teaching opportunities.
Mm.
Because oftentimes what our kids are interested in, let's be honest, they feel like interruptions.
Yeah.
Like, because we have like, no, we're supposed to get up, get dressed, so if we pay attention as parents to the places where we feel like it is interrupting what we have planned, that's probably actually what our children are interested in. And it is quite likely an opportunity. Josiah loves to cuddles in the morning, right? I'd be like, all right, hey, we dance and we wake up. All right, let's brush our teeth or whatever. But he wants a moment. He's like, spend some time with me, Mama. So he just taught me to slow down. And in paying attention to that, he is a child who loves building relationships. He loves entertaining. As you can see, if you're on YouTube, you can see he's been running around in the background, and you can probably hear on Instagram because he's like, oh, people are watching? Bet. But because that's what's interesting to him, that's my opportunity to teach him. So when we go Facebook Live and we go YouTube Live and different things like that, I know that it is an opportunity for me to teach him, for him to learn, and for him to do what he's interested in doing, which is having a good time.
Yeah.
And he loves music. So I just want to throw that out, that it sounds like you have slowed down enough, or maybe you have just been intentionally taking your time to process. What does my son need? What is he interested in? What does he like to do? I love the bowling. Keeping score of bowling is so many different skills. It's counted by tens. It's multiple. It's adding, subtracting. Like you said, the drawing of the numbers. It's multi-step directions. It's managing many skills at once. Not only is it math, but you have to pay attention. So there's some higher level thinking. And why do I have salami? Why? This boy brought me salami, girl. Why? I'm sorry, I had to be random real quick. But I love that, Jamie. So know your child, know what they like, slow down enough to use every opportunity and interruption as an opportunity for learning. And then the last thing you said is connecting with others. So there are communities of other homeschool moms or moms who need support, supplemental education. We are a community for, I have parents who really are very, very busy, but like are prioritizing education. So find a community that can support you. Find a community that fills in the gap and will teach you something new or add to your toolkit as a parent, and help you do what you do. So let's transition. How can we learn more about what you do? You said you're rusty with the couponing, but I don't know, sis. You're a master in my mind. We know that you can lock down a schedule for home. There's another boss mom on the line, Natalie Lee Martin. Y'all remind me of each other because Natalie does meal prep for her 5 children while she works full time in her business, and she is a military wife.
Whoa.
So y'all have a lot in common with the way that you're able to manage. And you're not letting life and motherhood and wifedom manage you, but you are managing your life and you're managing your legacy. So how can we learn more about, tell us more about what you do and how can we learn even more after this live?
Well, I have a link tree. You can drop my link. I have a link tree and I have an ebook out. It's called Modern Day Homemaker. And what it does is I talk about 10 different myths. I dispel the myths because like when people look at a homemaker, I don't know what people really think, but one of the main things that I talk about in the book is people think we just cook and clean all day. And I'm like, we do way more than cook and clean. Like we doing the finances over here, we nurturing the kids over here. Gotta, the yard. Like when my husband was overseas, I was cutting the grass. And it's like I had to get myself mentally ready because I'm like, I don't want to do this. But then again, I'm like, I don't want to pay nobody to do it. It's like, okay, Jamie, shut up and go do it. So cutting the grass and grocery shopping, it's always something to do. Right. And for me, I have stayed intentional. I'm like, this is what I want. I want my house to stay neat. I want my house to stay clean. I want my husband to stay happy. I want my son to continue to advance. So it's like, make it up your mind every day. Like this is what I'm going to do. And I watch a few other homemakers on YouTube, so I get another bright idea of how to do this a little bit better. Oh, this is what they do. Oh, well, let me try this. Oh, this might work. And that's another thing too. Like what I do for my son or what my family might not work for yours. So it's almost like you're adjusting, trying to figure out what works, what don't work, what you like, what you don't like. So I mean, you can change up this, change up something here, change up something there, but the goal is just so the day can be smooth. Nobody want to be stressed out and yelling and screaming. And you want the goal is for the day to be just as smooth as possible. Right?
So,
yeah.
I like to say life be lifing. Like life is going to happen. And so the things that we can do ahead of time to put things in place, the better. You just rattled off financial management, home management, schedule, project management, lawn care, what else? Home, what's it called? Home education. Like you rattled off all of the things that I feel like we know go into living an abundant, peaceful life. But sometimes sitting down and really writing down what needs to get done in my home. And making a plan to get the things done. Not stopping there, like we said, either you stay stuck or you shift. Like if I need to get my finances in order, how do I sit down and make that a part of my daily practice, a part of my weekly plan, a part of my monthly check-in with myself? And these things are important to helping us to thrive. Thank you, Chelsea. Like they're major at helping us thrive. So we are dropping your link tree, Jamie, the homemaker, and I just pinned the link so that people can be able to click on that and access. But I also want them to follow you on Facebook, follow Instagram, stay connected to you because every time you post, I'm like, my husband is on the way.
He on the way. He on the way.
I'm getting my mind right now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right now. And I want more children, and so I'm getting my mind right now with Josiah. Like it just is. Motherhood is what I make it, and being a wife is what we make it, right? And so it doesn't have to be what we hear. Like this is so stressful. I'm overwhelmed. I'm under break. I'm underappreciated. I'm undervalued. It doesn't have to be that. That's not my story. That's not your story. And I see so many women like you, and so many business boss moms like you thriving that it excites me for the journey. Absolutely. Sometimes we get discouraged, but I'm like, come on with it.
Come on. Let's go. My words that I always tell myself, I mean, like, let's go. There's no excuse. No, you can't do it. It's like, no, you figure out how to do it. Let's go. It got to get done. So let's get it done.
It got to get done. Let's get it done. All right. So if you have not already, make sure that you go follow Jamie. Make sure that you click on her link tree. Make sure that you get all that you need. I have a question. Okay. I got a troll on my YouTube page. You made it when you got trolls. I don't know what this man is talking about, but that's awesome. That means we got reach.
Exactly.
All right, so Jamie, before we go, is there anything else that you want us to know for those who will catch the replay? Would you leave us with any closing words?
I just think being a homemaker, I feel like it's what you make it. And you can't keep on copying other people. You figure out what works for you and you stick to it. And you keep the goal in mind. The goal is to keep the house, keep love and balance in the home. So that's the goal, So, I mean, you do what you can. You put your best foot forward, and that's it.
Find your flow. That's what I'm hearing. Find your flow. Josiah's on spring break this week, and we about to be outside. That's our flow. Our flow is outside, socializing, being loud, listening to music, and about to pull up on some happy hours. Find the flow. Find what works for you and what fills your family's cup. Jamie, thank you so much. Thank you for working through the pre-temp session with me. I hope we get to do this again, and I'm really excited to continue to watch you grow and thrive.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. I thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, sis. Well, we will talk soon, and thank y'all for watching. And come back for the next one. All right. See ya.
Absolutely. Bye.